All right. Okay. So today we're going to make the monkey heart design that we've got on the website. So that's one I prepared earlier, and we're going to just go piece by piece. I'll start with the heart foil because I think it's always good to try and get as many of the foils done early as you can, because that way while you're making everything else you can find a fault. But one little method I've got for the connection point up the top of the heart foil, there's plenty of ones out there, so do whatever works best for you. But what I like to do is use tape and do it beforehand. That's why it's nice and flat. So I'm going to just tape on a length running up the center, and I'm going to intentionally have a little nib coming out of the tape. So as I fold it, I want a bit of excess tape hanging out. Try and get that flat, didn't do the best job. Okay, so push that in, do another one. Okay, so I'm sure you can get it flatter than that, but I'm in a bit of a rush. So with foils, a hand pump's fine, it's perfect, but I'm just using this. A bit faster, but make sure you do it slowly all the same. Yeah, so inflating a foil too quick on a machine can create a little bit of heat and possibly melt or warp the valve. Alright, so we'll just leave him over there. Actually, maybe top it up just a little bit more. You want it to be nice and firm. Alright, so let's do the monkey now as well. Just sit him on the side and gives us that opportunity to find a fault. So always stop for a minute, let the ears inflate. All right. So now the feet for the monkey, I've double stuffed the 11-inch. Just gives it that extra strength in case one pops. The whole monkey sculpture remains nice and vertical. We've got our Con one here set up at 25 psi at 2.4. So the equivalent of whatever machine you're working is fine. So that's probably about, I don't know, 7-8 inch. So I didn't double stuff the last one, just in case you're not sure. I just use a balloon straw, fold it in half. Inside the balloon, get the next one and pull it over. Okay, so we'll do that second pair. Alright, wrap it together. We just custom make our weights. That's just a lot heavier than the off-the-shelf stuff, but whatever you've got is fine. Wrap it around. The second quad I've done at 1.4 at the same pressure. So, 6 inches, whatever it is. Okay, so that sits on top there. What we'll do is tie a little tethering point on the bottom of the foil. It seems nice and inflated still, which is good. So we'll just get a 260Q and cut it in half. Okay, this method, we're just going to wrap or roll. the valve of the foil balloon. I'm sure you've all done that before. It's a great way of tethering any foil to a latex structure or anything else. It seals it really well and it ain't going anywhere. Okay, so as I connect the foil to the base layer of chocolate brown, it'll connect the middle layer of mocha. So just wrap it over. Just got to tie a knot. You know, there's plenty of ways to do this, but wrap it over again, why not? Okay, so there we've got the base of it. Now I'm working with the edging of the heart foil to come around this side through to junctions, and the arms and the face and everything is going to follow this direction. So let's start with that edging. So it doesn't matter about the size of these 260Qs because you're going to be cutting them a little shorter. Just make sure that you tie a knot with a little bit of play on the end. So I'll just show you again. I'm actually just holding it, like burp it a little bit and hold it there. Gives you a bit of play. So that when I connect it in here, it's stretching from that junction in the center. So I'm going to tie the knots here intentionally, not right to the end. Alright, there you go. Bring it in. You can wrap it around if you want. Okay, so we're coming up to the heart, up, over. I'm pulling it tight, so I'm just sort of pulling it with a bit of tension, and I'm finding my point there. You don't need it on the heart when you do this. Just twist it around a bunch of times. Now we've got some excess to secure with or to tie the next thing onto. So just push that back over. So it's really nice and tight over that heart. It's pushing the heart out. It's just creating a really nice tight point for everything else to follow. So at this point, if you want, you cut some excess and tie it off our tethering point. Now another way to strengthen this tethering point now that the heart's inflated, could have done that earlier, is a bit of tape along the ridge here. Or you can use any other, the thicker the tape the better. Some people could use Yoo-hoo dots for the 260s. I like to try and just strengthen that single point because I know exactly where I want that point to be, which is in the center. Alright, so back to this little offcut. Just sort of get my knot ready. Pull it up and over. Tie that off. It's a bit high actually. I'll just retie it again. Okay, so I can now just push that down. Tie it on. You don't want it to be ridiculously tight to that connection because the tape will fail at some point. Just to hold it in place. Alright, so we're going to do the arms quickly. Once again, don't worry about size. We need to use a whole 260Q per arm. Just tying it off. Now, what we've got here is just a nice neat way of holding that 5" is 2 little pinch twists. So that's one, bring the knot back over itself, twist, little bubble, twist. Okay, 5". On this machine we use it at 0.4, which works out a little under 5 inches. Right, don't even bother about knotting it, just pull it in nice and tight around those 2 pinch twists. Find the original knot from the 260 and knot them off. Okay, that's one. We'll do that again. Okay. Bubble. Pull the knot around. Twist. Bubble. Important to try and get those bubbles the same thickness. Okay, so there we go. Now, how long do we want them to be? I think, you can play around with it, but about there looks good to me. Twist it off, I cut the end, and tie that off. And we're just going to measure the second one exactly the same. Okay, now getting that bend in the arms, the best way I've found to do that, or I've been taught, is find the spot that you want it. Usually the shoulder to the elbow is a bit longer. Just bend it over 180 degrees and give it a little flick. All right, that holds it in place. So we're going to copy that again. All right. Now tie them pretty tight. Just a little bit of elasticity. All right. Okay. Now the neck, I'm doing at 1 inch, or even smaller, about 0.1. Put the 5 inch nice and tight over the nozzle. That way, when you blow it up, it comes out quite round. Tie your knot of your pear very tight to the junctions, and it just sort of pushes out the colour. Okay, so that's our first pair. The next is a quad. Once again, push that colour out. Just to illustrate, if you didn't, the shape's a little bit different. You've got a darker patch at the top, so you really want to have that colour of the mocha pushed out. Okay, so we've got that sitting just there. Find one of our original tethering points. Tie it off. Just to be safe, I'll do another one. It's quite important that the quad is nice and tight on that pair, which in turn brings the whole thing nice and tight to the 18-inch foil. Okay, so we've got our monkey head. That's been there for a while and he's good. So I'll just use an offcut and roll it up. Okay, so we'll attach him to the top. Now it's really important that this is nice and tight. So I'm going to actually push with my left hand, have the neck pushed up in through that 4-pack, and then with my other hand now wrap the 2-stick secure around. If you didn't get it very tight in the first time, you can always wrap the whole thing around some 5-inch, and it just keeps bringing it shorter and shorter. Every time you wrap it around 5-inch, bring it back in and back in, keep wrapping it around, but we don't need to do that. So you can see air inflated. He's really good. You can put helium in as well. I just don't think it's necessary. So the arms, might as well trim this off. Wrap it around. Now if all of this is tight, the arms should just be able to position at will. Okay, now the last thing you could be doing is this, to stop this from falling off. I've just got some Yoo-hoo tape. You can use whatever you've got around, and it's best to be looking side on, and you know exactly where to put it. Just get a little cut. And I like to put it on the latex first. Peel that off, and you can stand on side on and then press it in. Alright, it's good doing side on because you don't know how it's looking. Okay. Now if you want, you can put Yoo-hoo tape in here, and that'll push these guys in, and I'll show you. Just neatens that up, and you don't see any gaps, any holes. All right. See, that's going down there. You know, look, it's going to happen. Just always keep an eye out on. Try and make it well in advance, so you can make any fixes later. But the great thing about this product is, if different parts of it go down, it's still going to look great.